All right, let's calculate consumer surplus in the market depicted right here when the price is $20. Okay, so all we have is a demand curve, and you can see that the intercept of the demand curve on the price axis is at $40, and then it goes down. And we're assuming again that the price is $20. Okay, so that means we have everything we need to calculate consumer surplus. We can see that when the price is $20, the quantity demanded will be 30 units of the good, right? So let's go ahead and calculate consumer surplus. Now remember, consumer surplus is equal to the area of whatever shape happens to be below the demand curve, right? This is a demand curve right here. It's not labeled yet, but there it is. So everything below the demand curve and above the price. And the reason for why that is because the height of a demand curve represents marginal benefit, right? The marginal benefit that a consumer gets from consuming additional goods as they increase their consumption, right? So the height of the demand curve represents that benefit that they get, the psychological benefit, the utility they get from consuming these units. And the downward sloping demand curve just means that as they move along and increase their quantity, they're getting less and less of a benefit from consuming that good, right? So everything below the demand curve, that represents the area that's the total benefit from consuming those 30 units, everything below the demand curve up to that quantity, right? But we want to subtract, if we want to figure out their net benefit that they get from purchasing these goods, then we want to subtract off how much they spend. And how much they spend is the $20 times the 30 units. So this rectangle right here, below the price up to that quantity, that represents their spending, right? And that's a cost, right? So you want to subtract off their costs from their benefit. And when we do that, when we take the benefit and subtract off the total cost, then we're left with consumer surplus, right? And it's this triangle right here, below the demand curve and above the price, just like I said. Okay. So this, since we have a linear demand curve, this happens to give us a triangle for the consumer surplus, right? And we can figure out the dimensions of the triangle, right? Vertically, the dimension is $40 minus $20, so it's $20 in the vertical dimension, and 30 units of the good is the horizontal dimension. So that means that the consumer surplus, using our triangle formula, is going to equal 1/2 $20 times 30 units. $20 per unit times 30 units, and so that equals $300. So the consumer surplus for this market when the price is 20 happens to be $300. All right, thank you very much.